Welcome everybody to another edition of TEW 2020. Well, it's not really an edition of TEW 2020 actually. This is part of the TEW 2020 series as far as WCW 2003. As we're doing a final Mayhem just go over of the bracket. Again, the rules and the prizes, along with a general look over of the sort of like indies or what is the indies, just to give people some ideas of people who you can sign for the dev signing for the for the any ideas you got. And then, and of course, we already went over the developmental before. But just, I just want to go over this one more time as sort of one last final sell job for anybody who wants to put in predictions. And just, as a final check-in. Because I know, like, it's sort of understandable with the lead up that, like, lead up to Mayhem that you might want to, like, wait a little bit, do something right at the last second after watching Halloween Havoc. So, what we're going to do is go over the full tournament. And then, I'm going to go over, like, how to do a sign up one more time. And then, we'll go over, I'll just do a quick search for in TW20 some various roster, some various indie people, just so you can see some people who might be able to be assigned to the dev. But regardless, let's go over the tournament. So the tournament, number one seed is Vampiro as the former world champion who lost to Eddie Guerrero at Halloween Havoc. And then he'll be facing Tajiri. A quick thing, these are, these lineups are shoots in the sense, these brackets are shoots in the sense that, I generally, went over, figured out who is most over in the company, and after accounting for face and heel, and doing a little wiggling for storyline reasons, but you're not going to get anything weird say, I don't know, Booker versus Vampiro in the first round just for storyline reasons. Jiri is around 32nd most popular once you account for people like Eddie, who's the world champion, our tag champs who are involved, and other people. But our tags are actually kind of involved because the tag champs, they're kind of over. But something but some tag teams aren't a part of it, and other people lower on the card aren't part of it for obvious reasons. But anyway, so Vampiro is facing Tajiri, which isn't going to be a easy fight for Tajiri as for Vampiro, as Tajiri is a former television champion. He's got a U.S. title shot this year, and he's been a solid mid card guy, and he always has that miss, so who knows? Then in the next part of the bracket, Sting versus Lestat. I mean, this should be fairly easy to set up. If Lestat wins, he'll probably, roll over for Vampiro. Of course, assuming Vampiro wins, but of course, Vampiro Sting one more time as, a little reignition of their feud that went through all of last year. And next down, we got, I don't want to say blurring storyline, singles should be going off for you guys. We've got Chuck Colombo, who has been on a hot streak, defeating Ric Flair, facing off against somebody else who's had not exactly a hot streak, but who's rose quickly here in WCW, facing off against Morningstar, who of course is Christopher Daniels, for those of you who don't know. And then we got Ric Flair versus Dustin Rhodes, so it's Flair versus Rhodes one more time. Maybe Palumbo and maybe Ric Flair might have something to say about Palumbo advancing to face him. Or maybe Palumbo might have something to say about Flair, going off to face him. But regardless, we'll find that out. We also have Booker versus James Storm, which, honestly, James Storm is the tag team champions, but Booker, is one of the top wrestlers in WCW. And we got Kidman versus Paul London, which should be a high-flying battle, even with Kidman's, run as a top-level heel. And, of course, you never know what might happen, especially since he helped, Mike Awesome and Lance Storm do that beatdown on Sean O'Haire at Halloween Havoc. Then we got Macias versus Air Paris, which all I can say is give prayers for Air Paris. Weirder things have happened, but you never know. Then we have got Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy. Jeff Hardy versus Mike Awesome, not Matt Hardy. That'd be weird. Jeff Hardy versus Mike Awesome. So, the speed and, ability to kill himself of Jeff Hardy versus the pure power of Mike Awesome. And of course, Mike Awesome has his new stable mates of Lance Storm giving his backup, but also Mike Awesome did severely piss off Sean O'Haire. Then we've got, of course, oops, can we, yeah, there we go. Let's go all the way though. Yeah. Then we got Goldberg versus Cash, and Goldberg's, is going to be wanting to get out those finals just because he wants to be the man again. And Cash is a, he fought for the cruiserweight title. He's not a rollover, but Goldberg rolls over even some of the best wrestlers, so maybe he will be. Then in what'll be a very good match, the new United States Champion Rey Mysterio Jr. will take on Lance Storm. So Lance Storm's new stablemates might get involved, but Ray Jr. is also one of the best wrestlers in the world. Then we have RVD versus Jamie Noble. So, Cruiserweight champion taking on a guy who, who's been in main event feuds all since he basically entered WCW. So, interesting who will win that match. And we got Shane Douglas taking on Jason Jett. Two guys who are mainly in the tag division at the moment, but are both talented singles wrestlers. We got Sean O'Haire versus Chris Harris. Of course, Sean O'Haire will be very upset after getting beat down at the pay-per-view, and he'll be probably wanting to send a message to Chris Harris, to that new triumvirate of Storm, Awesome, and Kidman via Chris Harris. And then we got Shane Helms, who recently lost the U.S. title, taking on Alex Wright. Alex Wright's a tough competitor, but Shane Helms is a former United States champion, so we'll just have to see who rises to the top after that. Then we got Jeff Jarrett versus AJ Styles. Of course, Jarrett and Douglas have been feuding with Jarrett basically all year over the tag titles, off and on. And, AJ Styles, of course, looked to many as the future of World Championship Wrestling, so will he begin that path to glory here. And then our final first-round matchup is Scott Steiner versus Gantes, and of course, Steiner came back to WCW, joined the side of the Angels, at least for the moment, to, try to take out Gigante, so now they'll get their chance to face off here in the first round of the Mayhem tournament. So, if you're looking forward to the, final four ladder match, it'll determine who will have the title match of their choosing at their time of choosing. We could see people, we could see a final four of, let's say, Chuck Palumbo, Macias, Rob Van Dam, and Scott Steiner. We could also see a final four of Sting, Booker, Goldberg, and Shane Helms. We could also see a final four of, say, somebody like AJ Styles running all the way to the finals. Lance Storm making his presence felt via his, partners. Kidman having a good run, and Vampiro, or some other, or somebody you haven't even thought of, Of course, I know because I'm the booker, but you guys don't know. But again, if you want to go ahead and sign this up, all you do is, you click on, you sign up via the challenge site. That's CHALONGE.com/2003 Mayhem. You click on create a prediction, and then, it lets you move the very predictions over. And then remember, who you choose that's an ad. It doesn't matter who you choose to be in the finals, as long as the other person you have in the finals is the actual winner you choose. But regardless, any points, stop clicking on the ads. I'm a very smart person, I swear. But regardless, as long as you choose the right people for the semifinals and the right winner, that's all you need to do. But again, I just wanted to go over that real quick, just, to explain to you guys, what's going on as far as that goes. And again, just to go over the prizes for the tournament. Remember, first prize, you get a match of your choice at the January pay-per-view outside of the world title match, which I already have plans for. But, I'm obviously flexible as far as the match you want. Remember, you don't get to choose who wins. So, don't try to book somebody into Stardom before they're ready. You'll have your choice of wrestler to bring it from developmental, which again, I went over, at the end of the, I think it was end of Last Rites at the end of that show, or maybe after Havoc. Yeah, I think it was after Havoc. And then you'll get to choose, a push and de-push wrestler of your choosing. Remember, again, if you choose to push somebody who's a total dropper right now, they won't be a world title contender right away. And you choose to, let's say, de-push, Vampiro, he won't be jobbing on Saturday night right away either. And then you also get to make a dev siding of your choice. Again, I have respect the right to veto certain people depending on whether they're, whether it be too out of reality at the moment to decide them, but 99% of people I'll say okay to. And then again, second place is a title match of your choice at a Nitro, but you only choose the winner, and you also get to choose, the competitors of your choosing. Obviously, Macias can't get a cruiserweight title match, and Booker can't get a women's title match, but outside of stuff that doesn't make any logical sense, since we're not Vince Russo here, you can choose whatever match you want. Again, you also get a push and de-push, but obviously first place. So if if the person you want to push, they want to de-push, then you don't get it. But but I'll obviously let you know that. And then you also get a dev siding of your choice. Then finally, third place gets a match of the Nitro of your choice, as long as it's not for a title, and a dev siding of your choice. And finally, random. If we get 10 predictions, we get somebody random will get to choose a match on a Nitro of their choice. But yeah, so I mean, again, those are the prizes. Those are the what can I say here? But again, part of why I'm doing this is, the pushes and de-pushes, the matches at the pay-per-view, the title matches at Nitro, the dev signings, all that stuff will, sort of give a little bit of a break away from myself. Because obviously, I have my own tendencies to book. So putting some, chaos via people who win this, their choices in there will make me work around that. If you tell me to push somebody, I'm not planning to push. If you're telling me to push somebody I had big plans for, that's all stuff I'll have to deal with. So one other thing is the official lineups for the tournament. So obviously you can't have 8 matches, to get a tournament, and you have to have some matches on Saturday night, which means for the first time since basically the last Mayhem, you'll see, along with each Nitro, part of the video will also be that Saturday night. So, slightly longer videos than normal, but, there'll also be big matches on Saturday night, so there you go. But again, just to go over the lineup, so, already announced, so it'll be Goldberg versus Cash, Palumbo versus Morningstar, Booker versus James Storm, Stunner Gantes, and Vampire versus Tajiri on Nitro. Then on Saturday night, it'll be Helms versus Wright, Macy's versus Air Paris, Kidman versus London. And then next week, it'll be O'Hare versus Chris Harris, Ric Flair versus Dustin Rhodes, AJ Styles versus Jeff Jarrett, Sting versus Lestat, and Jeff Hardy versus Mike Awesome. And then Saturday night, we'll close things out with RVD versus Noble, Ray Jr. versus Lance Storm, and Shane Douglas versus Jason Jett. And then obviously, then the final 2 Nitros of the month will be the quarterfinals. Will be the second round. Of course, the quarterfinals will be at the pay-per-view, and then the winners of those quarterfinals will be in the 4-way ladder match at the pay-per-view to determine who will get, the call title shot of their choice. So, and then one more thing, I'm going to show you guys basically some various people who have the skills, star quality, stuff like that, who are available to hire, just so you might get some ideas for the dev fed, for your dev signings. So, just go over some possible dev signings. First, here is everybody in the world who's under 30 who has a star quality of 76 or above. So, we've got Amazing Khan, Carlito, the future Chris Masters, Chris Nowinski, Claudio, a regen who has really good stats, the future Antonio Del Rio Jr., Hiroshi Nago, who's just a random guy, Hot Toss for Hernandez, Jacob Swick, another regen, Jay Briscoe and Mark Briscoe, Jay Lethal. I'm not seeing an Omega here, but for storyline reasons, these are the 2 people, just because they're so cliche, I'm not going to say will be part of the dev signings. Like, literally anybody else is okay. Obviously, who's available to be signed. Then we got Masato Tanaka, who's interesting as Matt Morgan, Mike Bennett, ODB, Paul Burchill, another regen, Roadkill of all people, which is interesting, Rocky Romero, Sheamus, and Trent Acid. So, if we then change things to, just for instance, if we're looking for some new monsters, Menace of 76, we've got Amazing Khan, Apocalypse, who's a random guy, Barry Branderburn, who's a regen, Bison Smith, who's a future long-term Noah guy, we got Claudio, Corey Gonzalez, who's a regen, Dyson Price, who's just a random guy, Ronda, who's, we have Gafu, who's, again, another random guy, Maddie Tremblay, who's a women's wrestler, Mike Knox, Raymond Rowe, future Viking Raider, Roman Shaw, who's, again, another regen, Stone Mountain, who's a guy who works at Wildside currently, Thor Morris, who's, of course, you know who that is, and Travis Takmo. If we're looking at people who have some sex appeal, well, okay, that's a lot, so let me narrow it down to, okay, let's say 80. There we go. Okay, so Amy Zahn, who is part of the Diva Search, Brandy Wine, Chris Masters, Daisy Hayes, Prince Devitt, who, okay, again, he's also somebody, just because, like, in 2003, he's literally 22 and just wrestling in Europe. I think I might X him out, but he can make an argument for me, Gorgeous George, Jennifer Blake, Kaya Naomi, who's a random Joshi, Kimono Wanalea, she will not be dancing on top of the ECW arena, she's with OVW, Lizzie Valentine, okay, she's with WWE, Melina Perez, who's currently unemployed, Majaja, by the way, let her go, because, Mike Bennett, I guess that's why he ended up with Maria, because look at that, Chantel Taylor, and Tyler Madison, who, of course, yeah. Oh, no, I brought her in for one show. If we're looking at just pure charisma and microphone, so let's say 70 for charisma, 70 for microphone. Bradley Starr, who's a random regen. Corey Gonzalez. Well, let me just, yeah. So, not a ton of people. If we're looking at people who have some power, basically it's this regen, it's this guy from Mongolia, it's the other people, it's Paul Burchill also, and yeah. And let me see here, was there anything else? Oh yeah, so Psych, who's already decent. Psych, obviously different people. So yeah, that's some people, with some raw talent who you can, sort of look over as possible signings. Obviously, you can choose whoever you want. If you just want to send me a list of 10 people, and I'll tell you who's signed by say AAA or New Japan, then I'll let you know, and then you can make your own decision if you get that, or you can just choose somebody completely random who's not even on the roster, but not even who's you want to make you choose a diamond in the rough, or somebody who's who didn't get over real life at all. But that's again outside of those 2 or 3 sort of default choices I know people will choose, because I just want to see how they do without me pushing them. But literally anybody else, Jay Briscoe, like I said, Stone Mountain, whoever that is, Scott D'Amore, sure, Nosawa. Want me to bring in Mercedes Martinez 20 years before she actually gets a real shot in WB? Fine, that's great. But they'll all get a healthy shot. We'll see how they do in Dev, and eventually they'll be brought up, as they get ready. But I just want to go over that, folks, just to give you guys some options, and yeah. But again, Mayhem is, Nitro will be up after, 2 days. Basically the schedule. So the schedule for the future for the channel is going to be, again, obviously, life will step in, so this won't be perfect. But this week, it'll be the standard 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for WCW. But after that, what I'm going to try to do is Monday and Friday will be WCW. Tuesday and Thursday will be MLW or WCW 1993. And Wednesday will be either women's wrestling or another series I might be starting. Because that 2013 Yes mod came out, and I'm thinking about doing something with that, but I'm not 100% about it. And then on the weekends will be Cornellverse weekends with both my Cornellverse 1997 East Coast Wars save and my 2016 Cornellverse in TEW 2020 save. But yeah, that's it. So I just want to do this video just to give people one more shot to go look over everything as far as the available possibilities as far as predictions. Give people a look over for the dev signings that they want to do dev signings, and just have some fun as far as just the general what's going on. Because right now, I'm really enjoying doing this, and I want to do this again, like I said, to give you guys a shot to basically affect the save a little bit. But yeah, that's it for now. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, comment below what you're enjoying and not enjoying, and subscribe to the channel for for all that TEW 2020 content I just went over. But that's all for now, so I'll talk to you later, and adios.